Welcome everyone to another week in the Geoguessr Reddit League. My name is Zatomo and I'm joined today by Calamity as always. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing good. How about you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. A very interesting matchup we have for you today in Division 2. We're on a world map again, so the first time in a few weeks we get to show off some of the more diverse locations of the world rather than different corners of a country or state. Our matchup today is between Radox1988 and Benica11. Quite different standings. Isn't that right, Calamity?
Yeah, they're not that different anymore, but they've both been in bad form recently. Radox more so throughout the whole division, Benica in the last 2 weeks. But yeah, they definitely both will want to win this week to sort of stop that bad run. They've actually been pretty close in terms of average points. I think for Benica it was mostly just having some really good and some really bad maps, and Radox was mostly just lots of like slightly below average maps where he just lost. And yeah, Benica with a couple more aces, and you can see there his best game of 24,977 points, which, if I'm not mistaken, was on the first world map we had. So if that is any indication how he'll do this time, that's a bad sign for Radox. But we'll see.
Yeah, I definitely know that these two players are probably at their best on world maps. They're not necessarily known for practicing and trying out a lot of those smaller country maps.
Called out.
So definitely, I think Radox even told me himself, he was like, look, I love world maps. I play world maps all the time. I don't spend a lot of time on those smaller maps. So even when he practices for them, he just doesn't have the experience or the depth necessarily as some of the other players in Division 2.
Radox just doesn't like pinpointing.
Neither do I, to be honest. So I feel you, Radox. Pretty close all around for a lot of things. Benica, though, does have quite a big advantage in terms of those aces in his best game, but that recent form has been something he'll want to turn around this week. So let's take a look at the map they'll be playing on. It's a balanced world map by S.A. Debray, average score of about 13,000. It's been played over 40,000 times and has over 10,000 locations. And as the description says, it's a good mix of urban, rural, easy, tough, country, city landscapes. So should be quite diverse, hopefully, but balanced between them all. So a little bit different from a diverse world. But anything from you here, Calamity, on this map?
Yeah, balanced world is kind of like Deborah likes putting locations in, like putting pins in locations that are unusual, like kind of in locations where you wouldn't really expect to be in. So yeah, that's something you might have to look out for when you play this map. It might not be as it seems.
Yeah, so definitely will be interesting. Well, without further ado, let's jump right into this match. So we're at the start. I'm getting flashbacks of Kyrgyzstan for a second, but I don't think we're in Kyrgyzstan.
Nope, definitely not. There's no Cyrillic here.
Straight Cyrillic. Any idea? Maybe South Africa?
Yes,
or
straight tunnel. That is definitely Afrikaans. Yeah, that should give the country away because it's clearly not the Netherlands.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think Afrikaans is also more prevalent in the western part of the country, if I'm not mistaken.
In town names, I think so. I'm not entirely sure about how it is in terms of it being a spoken language.
Yeah, so our competitors find themselves on a mountainside. So they're going to both try to worm their way down into the valley where there might be some city information.
It definitely looks like an unusual location in South Africa, though. It's not really something you see a lot, these kind of mountain roads.
Yeah, and they're both moving in the same direction, so that should at least be relief to Radox. He knows he's not going to see, his opponent's not going to see anything he's not going to see.
Yeah, that's always good, yeah.
So Abel Erasmus Pass, very interesting name.
Mm. I also do remember when I played this location, I walked the other way, so this is all new
Mm.
information to me.
There was a town name I think that Radox saw, but it was probably small, not worth spending too much time on.
There's an area code there. I don't know any area codes of South Africa, but they might tell you something.
Yeah, unlike some of the other maps that you all might have watched at home, on a world map, it's really impossible to try to memorize world area codes. So our players probably won't know them unless they have a previous familiarity with the map going into the week. But that's a very clear South African road sign for Radox.
Yeah. The R36.
R designation. Yeah.
The thing is, I mean, I don't know if this is something that's generally true. It's just something I've noticed and something that has helped me find locations in South Africa, that the 2-digit roads seem to be relatively logically placed. So if you've found the R34, for example, or the R35, the R36 is probably not too far away from that. Something I haven't noticed with the 3-digit roads.
Yeah, I think probably in most countries, a 3-digit designation means it's off of a 2-digit road or connecting certain roads. So their logic is less
less logical.
Obvious. Yeah, or less obvious at least to most people than those 2-digit or single-digit roads.
They're both placing their markers very far southwest, which I've asked Radox about this afterwards, and he said he put it there because he knows there's a lot of mountains in that area, and it looked kind of very dry to him. But
as we see with time running out, they both put us in the complete opposite end of the country with almost exactly the same points. So very even through round number one. Radox getting 1,808 points and Benica 1,856 points. So a slight lead for Benica, a few kilometers closer, but almost essentially in the same opposite corner of the state there.
I don't think Benica saw anything like that sign that Radox did. So I don't blame him for putting his marker somewhere there. In Radox's case, if you've got a sign that says R36, like 90 kilometers to Zanin, and I'm going to assume it's not a city you recognize because, well, otherwise he would have put us there. But wouldn't it be more logical if it was near that area of Cape Town? I don't think it's even 90 kilometers to Cape Town from where he put his marker. To have some towns you'd recognize or cities you'd recognize on a sign like that. So that's basically...
That's probably true.
That's the main reason why I wouldn't have gone with that. But yeah, I think he didn't... I mean, I don't know if he actually seriously looked for the road number. I think I saw him quickly check and he just didn't see it. But yeah.
Yeah, and maybe a bit of that kind of trickery that you talked about for this map with Debray liking to put locations in what you would think a mountainous region, South Africa. Okay, I'm southwest, like Radox and Benica are thinking, but because of the nature of the map, he picks somewhere that's familiar, but in an odd location in the country. So that might have come into play a little bit too.
Certainly, yeah.
Yeah. So let us jump to, I always forget to do this while we're talking.
Yeah, I noticed.
I'm too busy listening to you and not setting the videos. So let's get into round number 2. Good enough. There we go. And another African location?
Yeah, definitely more Africa. And this kind of
probably not South Africa though.
Yeah. Well, it could just based on the landscape, it could technically be South Africa. It isn't, but for example, the very northwestern part of South Africa, or like generally the northern border towards Botswana as well, does look kind of like this. But that's a very good sign for Radox. There's the border of Zimbabwe. Yeah.
So he'll know he's in Botswana, very close to the border. I think he's even found that city too.
Yeah, so. Technically South Africa also borders Zimbabwe, so that again still doesn't give it away. But this kind of very dry soil does very much look like Botswana.
Yeah, so the trick here will be to figure out exactly how close to the border you actually are. But Benica there with a very good sign with actually Botswana as well as the city name. So,
and there's not a lot of cities that are on the map in Botswana. So if you've got one that does appear to be at least somewhat big, you can probably just look for it on the map.
he is looking too far south. He's slowly creeping up. Oh, it's right on the north end of his map, and he didn't see it. He dropped his marker.
He's still got 2 minutes.
I still got 2 minutes. And Radox looks to be trying to calculate where this intersection might be. He does have a road number, which can be helpful. He passed right over it again, Benica.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure where. Oh, there he is. Yeah, he should go a bit closer to the border, Radox.
Yeah, he's probably a little bit too far west, and I would guess. He is closer to those main roads, I think, but it's a little bit hard to tell.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why, because it does seem like there's only one bigger road that goes to the border from Botswana to Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
I can't actually remember. Oh no, he's not there anyway. Never mind that. I just checked where they actually are. So he is close to. He sees my Tengwe on the map as well. I'm not sure if he knows that's where he is.
Yeah, the problem is you have a city name, but you don't know, is it 2 kilometers away? Is it 100, not 100, but is it like 50 kilometers away? Is it like 2 towns away? Is it the next town? Marked countries, it can be a little bit tricky.
Yeah, it's kind of like this doesn't really look much like a city. It looks like a rural road that has 1 or 2 houses either side of the road.
Yeah, but it is technically a what is it, like a unified city district or something, like in American parlance anyways. But
okay,
well,
time's
2 seconds left. Yeah, unfortunately for Benica, they're just seeing those town names and just not moving, not seeing them, I guess, on the map. So saw them in the seed, but didn't find them on the map. He'll get 3,989 points. Radox, very close, relatively speaking, 4,851 points. But yeah, we were right on the border, and kind of a little bit misleading. But
goes back to the unusual locations. Yeah, normally when you get Botswana in any kind of map, you kind of expect to be somewhere in between Francistown and Gaborone in that sort of general area. But nope, this is a balanced world we're playing.
Yeah, so when it says the Zimbabwe border is that way, you think, okay, well, maybe it's, 10-minute drive, 15-minute drive, but no, we were right on the border. So,
it genuinely is that way. You can see it over there.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's jump into round 3, see if we can be somewhere besides Africa, and it does appear so.
Yeah, we can.
It appears to be somewhere in Southeast Asia.
Doesn't appear to give more information than South Africa or Botswana does.
And Thailand.
You're pretty sure of that?
Oh, I can often get that script mixed up, but Thailand always has flags everywhere.
Yes, it does.
If you're ever curious, you're like, oh, is it Thailand? Is it Cambodia? Or I don't know. The language is sort of similar, the curly alphabet. But Thailand has flags everywhere, like America. And very proud to show that flag.
Cambodia has beer ads everywhere, so yeah.
Yeah. So, and Radox has probably found the most important thing here, the main road. So he'll have lots of signs to go off of here. Benica still checking out a few of those side roads, but
the problem with all of those signs for Radox is that they're mostly in Thai. Some cities here.
Mostly.
Ours.
Yeah, and even when they are translated into the Latin alphabet, they can't always be exactly helpful, but that will be a very helpful sign.
Oh.
Champon is a region, I believe, in Thailand.
I definitely did not see that when I played that location.
Yeah, so I did what Radox did. I found this major road, and then you find that information. You know that you're in the southern part of the country. So he'll be looking to.
I think what
pinpoint
I
exactly.
found in this round was the road 41 that you see on Radox's screen right there, and then I found a sign for some sort of island. And yeah, I didn't find that anywhere, but yeah, I got the general region off of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Radox does know that area, of course. And even if he didn't, he searched for it and found it. So he knows it now.
Yeah, Benica is, showing his skill, knowing that we're probably somewhere towards the southern part of Thailand, but he doesn't realize we're a little bit further south than that. But those some good city names that should help him pinpoint that down. But I don't think he has seen a road number like Radox has.
I'm really surprised.
Now he has. Just as I say that.
But I'm really surprised he just went past that sign with those kilometers so quickly. Because that had some very useful information on it. Like it did say 95 kilometers to Chumphon, however you pronounce that. And a couple more that I didn't quite get to read because he skipped past it so quickly.
Yeah, and Radox headed back to the start, trying to pinpoint exactly where that spawn location is. He should be looking for a railroad track, and it looks like maybe Benica's actually got the better of him a little bit with about 10 seconds left. He seems to have found a rail line. Whether or not it's the right one or not, we'll find out in 5 seconds. But Radox isn't too far off, so I think with his lead, he should be fine.
Yeah.
And Benica has to wait for an ad. So we'll talk about Radox first. 4,753 points and an ace for Benica. Very nice. So he did indeed find that station. Yeah, Radox, I think, knew the region and maybe that one road, but was a bit too far north, close to that city to find anything. But
yeah, maybe Benica's went past that sign so quickly because he already knew where he was.
It's possible. Yeah. But anyways, Ace gets him a few hundred points back on Radox there. So it should make things very interesting going into round number 4.
And it stays thematically on the weird locations, with somewhere in the central part of Thailand, which is again something like a location where you're not often.
You can see a little bit of that frustration by Radox, who spends quite a ways on that score screen. I had to skip quite a bit of his video as he talks about that. So, round 4, Radox in at 11,412, Benica at 10,854. Still anybody's game for sure, with less than a 600-point difference. So,
yeah, you've got some weird, slightly bugged movement there.
I know, this is the worst thing in Geoguessr when the movement. I think I actually, because this was a practice for me, I think I just gave up on this one because I was just like, I'm not clicking on this for 2 minutes.
This one's actually not too bad though. There's one found in Lesotho, like right at the southern border. There's this little part of coverage that's basically cut off from everything else, and you basically have to move sideways through it. So if the road goes north-south, you have to click west or east to move forward or backwards on that road.
But probably in Africa again.
Yeah. If you look at the card.
And Benica's got a brilliant side of Nairobi in Kenya.
Yeah. If you look at the card, Google card, it's covered this location. It's black and has got bars on it, which also tells you it's Kenya if you know that. It's one of the few meta things I know.
So other countries have bars, but only Kenya has bars plus black.
Yes.
Okay.
There's also a couple more. Like technically, for example, if you just know it has bars, of course there's other countries that have bars like Guatemala or the Dominican Republic. But this is obviously in Africa. So again, kind of combining information a bit there.
Yeah, and so Benica, they're looking for that market. He has a bit of a name. See if he can do anything with that. And Radox will find a very nice map, a major road sign, as well as some cities.
Yeah,
and he does, in fact, know he's in Kenya as well. So
that's a much better sign to find than the town entrance sign that Benica found. I mean, Benica can probably make more use of it once he's found the actual location, but to get you close to it, Radox's sign is definitely better. Yeah. And from what I remember, he is quite close to the actual location now on the map.
Yeah, he's got that junction up ahead of him. He'll have to work his way backwards to his actual starting location, but he at least knows where he is at the current moment.
Yeah,
which is quite handy.
He would need to remember that he came from the east.
Mm-hmm.
I remember now where he guessed. And well, yeah, we'll watch him do the work.
About 30 seconds left. Benica's still looking for that city, town name, rather not much of a city, and he appears to be quite a ways off.
Yeah,
he doesn't have that information that Radox does.
Usually with town names that say market afterwards, it's kind of like in Bangladesh with town names that say bazaar after it, where it's just not that helpful. It often you need to zoom in really far to see it on the map.
3, 2, 1 as Radox's video starts to load. Benica does move himself a little bit closer to the location at the last second, getting 4,545 points. And as Radox's time expires, 4,988. So yeah, moved a little bit too far east, to the east. But other than that, very nicely done by Radox. He'll be happy with that. One thing about skipping these videos is sometimes YouTube doesn't always want to load very fast. So yeah, a pretty good round there. Radox definitely taking advantage of a little bit different direction on that road and better road signs, Calamity.
Yeah, but Benica also got relatively close considering I don't think he really knew anything about where he is in Kenya. So I don't know if he guessed there based on anything he found or if he got lucky in the end, but I guess he'll take 4,500 points for that.
Yeah, dropping only about 400 points or so is not too bad. Still puts him within 1,000 points, I believe, of Radox going into round number 5. And we'll get into that final round. And a very interesting location. A suburban, I want to say America, but it could also be Canada.
Depends on what you consider America. It's certainly on the American continent.
Oh, yeah, that's true. USA, I should be more precise. I'm sorry. It's one thing us Americans always get chastised for by international people is that you call it America, but America is huge and it's more than just one country. Right? It's the United States of America. So I'm having a little bit of trouble for some reason loading Radox's video. So I'm going to pause Benica just so I can maybe try to catch him up a little bit. I don't know why. Benica's video is loading perfectly fine, but Radox's,
I think it works in 480p now, and it should still be fine quality-wise.
Yeah, Benica's has a little bit ahead of us, but it should be fine. So.
There's not too much information in this suburb anyway, and they've hit the exact same point now.
Yeah, so they found their way out of this suburb. Oh, I believe this is in Canada.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, because this isn't quite an American road, and if I remember right, Radox is going to come up on a sign that says it. So.
You just saw the deciding moment of the round. Yep. Benica went east and Radox went west.
Oh no! Don't tell me, Benica.
I went east at that point as well, and there is no more information going east.
Well, that blue road sign should be a big hint. He is in Canada, at least. I don't believe many American cities or states have blue signs. But Radox definitely with the much better information there. He has the actual Alberta state
Yeah.
province highways rather.
And it tells him
he'll know exactly where he is.
It tells him he's in Grand Prairie. So
he's got the even suburb, so he's perfect.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, if Benica does not turn around with a minute and a half left, he's going to be very hard pressed.
Yeah, he's found a sign that that had the top level domain of Canada on it, so at least it confirms that for him. But yeah, you can kind of see there on his screen. There's not a lot in this direction.
And Radox will be looking to claim his second ace of the tournament so far, of the league here. He's got roads, he's got houses, he's got everything he needs to pinpoint that location. Even someone like him who hates doing this will find this quite easy to do.
Yeah, it's not that bad in America, like in the US or in Canada, where we've got like those signs at every corner.
Yeah.
Benica's
he will get an ace.
Benica's only hope is to make it farther than I did when I played it, but it's not looking good.
40 seconds. It looks a little bit rough. So unfortunately for Benica, even with an ace, with Radox's ace, he will not be able to make up any points in this round, which means we can officially congratulate Radox on his first win of the Reddit League season, coming in week 6 on a world map. So
good job.
He had to wait a long time for that, but he got it. So, and it doesn't look like Benica clicking. Yeah, I mean, that's just really rough when if you had just turned a different direction for 10 seconds, you would have seen a sign and you went 2 minutes in the wrong direction. But I believe he was in Alberta.
He got relatively close based on landscape.
But with only 3,666 points, we'll take a look at their final scores here. Benica will stay on his own screen. There we go. And we'll bring up Radox's. There we go. So Radox will finish with 21,400 points to Benica's 19,056. So congrats, Radox, on your first win. And a very narrow win nonetheless, even though he definitely had some very good rounds. Benica kept it close to pretty much the last round. Isn't that right, Calamity?
Yeah, they both made the exact same mistake in South Africa, which made which made the rest of the game very close. At the end, just very unfortunate for Benica that he walked the wrong way, basically. Nothing you can do about that. I don't think as well, at the intersection where he could decide to go west or east, I don't think there was much difference either way to decide on which way you're going to go now. So that's bad luck.
Yeah, but either way, definitely not the round you want in round 5 when you're down by about 1,000 points, right? You want something that is not going to be easy to find and hope that you figure it out and your opponent doesn't. But a suburban location in Canada is going to give you all the information you usually need to find it. So even if Radox hadn't gotten an ace, he wouldn't have been able to maybe drop as many points as Benica would have needed. So a bit unfortunate there. But
the only thing I just thought of, but I didn't think of it while I was playing either, is that considering he was in a suburb of what looked like to be at least a decently sized city based on the architecture, he might have just, once he noticed that he's going out into the middle of nowhere, just go back to the start and try the other way, because you have to get into a city one way or the other.
Yeah. So if you're heading out into nowhere, you went the wrong way because you're part of a city, and so you must have taken a wrong turn for sure. Yeah, it's a good point. Something for you viewers at home to take note of when you're in your matches in Geoguessr, that if you are in a city and you seem to leave a city, turn around. You're going the wrong way.
The thing is, the problem there is that those are the things you never remember when you're actually playing.
Yeah, it always happens. But anyways, Calamity, who will these two be facing off against next week?
Radox will be playing against Yellow Skarmory, and Benica will be playing against Ice Pharaoh. And both of those matchups are kind of like sort of lower end of the table for Radox and Benica, and sort of middle of the table for Yellow Skarmory and Ice Pharaoh. So both potentially relatively close games as well.
Yeah, and I believe next week we are in Lesotho. So again, unfortunately for Radox, he's back to a country map. He's going to have to work on pinpointing and practicing. But yeah, very good showing from him in this world map. So, well, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this matchup in Division 2. We try to bring you at least 1 or 2 matchups every week covering the Geoguessr Reddit League. And we're about halfway through the season now. So definitely pay attention and subscribe to the channel because in a few weeks, we'll be getting some playoffs. So the excitement really kicks off. So
one thing as well, just to quickly mention, because I know that a couple of people have said in the past that they watch the matches first before they watch the show. This is unfortunately our only matchup of this week, so you can go watch the show after this one if you want to.
Yeah, good point, Calamity. Yeah, just how things worked out. I think there's only 2 videos we got. We got plenty of videos as always, but the only official matchup we managed to get this week. Yeah, so we will see you all next time in Lesotho. Take care.
Bye.